All right, we're talking about perhaps the greatest company in the history of enterprise and business. It's called Amazon. And Josh Silberstein is the CEO of Thrasio, Thrasio. And they have bought 60 different Amazon sellers and combined them into one giant entity where they can use a common platform for things like marketing and managing their reviews, doing SEO, doing fulfillment, customer support, all those things. It's a brilliant idea for a business. You raise a couple $100 million to do it, and you're focused on the Amazon platform. Have you gone to Walmart or Target and said, hey, why don't you take our collection of 60 and put them on your platform? And why isn't Walmart or Target or somebody like that ambitious enough to say, let's just copy the third-party seller program? It's so obvious.
I mean, Walmart has.
They have, yeah.
I mean, they have. And, part of the Jet.com acquisition was designed to accelerate that effort. I think, there's a bit of a network effect. It's harder to attract sellers when you don't have as many buyers, and it's harder to attract buyers when you don't have as many sellers. And, it's back to the fact that Amazon has the huge network of selection on the seller side and the huge number of buyers. If you're Amazon and, Walmart, by most counts, is 5 to 10% the size of Amazon online. And, the incentive to go and build a business on Walmart isn't as big on Amazon. Now, we do have sales on it on Walmart. We think Walmart's a great platform. We're happy to work with them. But the velocity that we've been able to get so far on Walmart, it's not the same.
What if Walmart said to you, what is the percentage that Amazon takes from third-party sellers? I don't even know.
It's 15% on average.
15 on average. So, and what does Walmart charge? Is it the same?
I actually don't know. It's pretty similar.
If Walmart just said, hey, we're going to do this, anybody who's on the platform in 2020, 2021, anybody who joins by the end of 2020, we're going to give you the first 3 years 1% or 0% just for joining the platform, then people might direct some of their traffic there, right? They might invest more heavily. I wonder why they don't do that.
The funny thing is that people aren't always rational, and people like to do things the way they've been doing them, and it usually takes something big to get people to change behavior. And so I think you're right. I think that if Walmart offered bigger incentives, could they attract more sellers? Sure. I mean, Walmart still is bigger than Amazon in aggregate. They still have plenty of advantages. But, if you ask, and, stop somebody on the street and shake them and say, hey, I need to buy a product. Where do I go online? 98% of them are going to tell you Amazon.
At some point, maybe when you hit 100 or 600 or 6,000 products in your collection. That's
where we are, actually. It's about 6,000. 6,000
products across 60 companies. So there's a point at time where you could sell direct and or open like retail outlets or even, create your own products based on your learnings. Have you considered or done any of those? Or is that the roadmap here, is to get so big and have so many products that you could actually be some overarching brand, and Thrasio might mean something to people like Target does?
So, one, I don't think Thrasio will ever mean anything to people. Thrasio was a name that was picked out of a hat for all intents and purposes because my partner and I like Greek mythology.
I was about to say, it sounds like a Greek name.
It's one of the Amazonian warriors, is Thraso. Yeah, but we do have a brand called Zaba that, we think of it as a bottom of the funnel brand because it's going to apply to everything from corkscrews to, fishing gear or whatever it happens to be. And the idea is that unlike old school brands that embodied particular product attributes, in the world you live in now, the brands aren't big enough to be able to capitalize on that scale and send that message out. So what you really need is trust. You need quality. You need to have the ability to have an interaction with somebody over and over again where each and every time you get what you want, you get when you wanted it, it's a great experience. And so the way we think about it is that, all of the different products that we have are from different categories, but they all have one thing in common, which is, our commitment that they're a great product, that we're going to do everything we can to make sure the customer is happy. All the things that, every boring retail business in the history of time is built on. And to the degree to which we can succeed at that, we can build a brand that I think stands, whether it's inside Amazon or outside Amazon, for a good customer experience and for trust. And in a world in which the brands are going to become less familiar, that's going to mean something.
Are you starting to do your own brand creation? I mean, I would think that your team is getting so good at understanding what people want, you could start to become like, what's the company? OXO. I get a lot of their products. Mm-hmm. Or Anchor is the other one I like. So when I actually will go to the Anchor page and click on new releases and just kind of window shop on Amazon. I know that is, I'm uncovering myself as a gadget addict, but do you start seeing yourself doing that?
We do. I mean, look.
Have you made any yet? Have you done any like in the laboratory product creations?
We have 20 or 30 in the laboratory, none that have been really publicly released. A lot of times it's taking an existing product and making it better. It's not something where you're coming up with something altogether different. But there are times when you'll look at a marketplace and you'll see that the things that are being offered either aren't great for the consumer or the prices aren't right. And if you've got, a sourcing superstar like we have on our team who can come back to me in 3 seconds and say, yeah, we can buy that for $3.08 a unit. We can look at these opportunities and we could say, let's be selective and smart and enter these marketplaces. But so much of, you made a point earlier in this dialogue about how the sort of top 10 lists are set, how the reviews and the leadership and how it's difficult to break in. And that's still true. And so if you're going to release a new product, it not only has to be great by any metric, but it also has to be fundamentally different. There has to be something about it which is going to make it more valuable to the consumer. And so, we've got an initiative coming up that we're not quite ready to announce, but which, when it comes out, I think will make some noise. That's all about how do you take an everyday product and make it something which someone is going to love to own in a way that's different than just it being the best product.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what Kickstarter and Indiegogo represented in terms of the entrepreneurial ecosystem, it was these inventor types saying, I can make something 10 or 20% better, or I can make something 10 to 20% better in 5 different aspects, which means I can make something overall 50% or even 100% better. And there was a really interesting company called Quirky that raised far too much money. I think it was one of these Andreessen Horowitz specials where they put too much money into a company and then it blows up because they're overfunded. But I don't know if you remember Quirky, and they were doing crowdsourced air conditioners and power strips. I had one of their power strips initially, which was like this very cool one that you can like bend like a snake so it could, kind of conform to big power bricks back in the day before we all had USB-Cs and easy stuff to use like that. What did you think of the Quirky idea first?
I thought that the fundamental concept was good.
Yeah.
The idea that you could come up with the ability to engineer a product that met more consumer needs by understanding what consumers thought and crowdsourcing that made a lot of sense. The challenge in anything is that, having a good product is, for better or worse, only part of what you need for success, right? You need to be able to market it successfully. You need to be able to figure out how to make the costs work, and so on and so forth. And so, even though I think that they probably were able to develop some cool products, that doesn't necessarily mean it was good business.
Yeah, it seemed like the margins were too low. Again, back to overfunding of startups. If you give a founder 10, 20, whatever millions of dollars, and they're going to go put it to use, and you're pushing them to grow too fast, which is what Andreessen Horowitz was kind of their specialty for a while, was pushing people to go too fast from what founders told me. You can kind of basically, it's like hitting the gas on a Ferrari, but you haven't put the steering wheel on yet. Maybe not advisable.